Welcome to another episode of Casual Cinephilia, where enthusiastic amateurs talk very passionately about movies. I'm Ian.
I'm Lorian, and today we are talking about what Netflix classifies as a movie, John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch.
I mean,
It's a comedy special.
It is a comedy special, but John Mulaney and his crew do a fascinating job of tastefully but horribly recreating the after-school specials of the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with Netflix that this is a movie, per se. I made us watch it because I love it. I've seen it a bunch of times.
No joke, I could see this being chopped up into little bits and fitting perfectly as in-between show segments on Adult Swim or something like that. It has that quirky, self-referential hilarity that there wasn't a moment where I was bored in this. It was so funny. And I don't know where they got these...
Spoilers, I guess, for this comedy special.
Yeah, spoilers on a comedy special. Look how far we've come and how far we've fallen since COVID. Oh my gosh.
Well, there aren't any freaking movies coming out.
Yeah. I mean, we could... No, never mind. I was going to say we could put a business expense in and fly to Europe and watch Tenet when it comes out.
We aren't allowed in Europe. We're American.
But then I forgot we're American and we can't go anywhere anymore because we're stupid.
Because we are the worst.
Anyways, we'll probably review it when it becomes bootlegged on some horrible channel. Because that's probably how we'll ever be able to see it. Anyways. This
is a tangent, but I need to go off on it.
Please do.
Did you hear Disney is releasing Mulan on Disney Plus as an additional purchase for $30?
I have heard that.
That seems like a dangerous precedent.
Yes. On one side, I feel that is the worst thing that Disney could do. Because that takes away the streaming platform subscription aspect of Disney Plus, and it just becomes an iTunes, essentially.
But they have it double. You have to have both.
Exactly.
So if you don't have it and you want Disney, you're paying essentially $40 for this movie.
Exactly.
And then do you get to keep access if you stop your subscription?
Yeah, that's that.
That's
the slippery slope, you know?
Yep.
But on the other side of this, in the other hand, it does not surprise me that Disney is trying this.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm
unhappy about it, but not surprised.
As much as I love Disney content, they are so money grubbing and... I don't know. They'll try and monetize anything that they can get away with. And as interested as I am about Mulan, I think I might, out of principle, not.
Yeah, same.
You know,
So, spoiler, no Mulan review until it's available.
Either in theaters...
Basically.
Yeah, either in
I have
theaters
Disney Plus,
or...
but I don't want to encourage this.
No, I'm not going to... If it's on Disney Plus, but you have to pay a surcharge for it, no. Yeah. Disney learns its lessons through your wallet.
Right.
If you don't use your wallet with their stuff, they stop doing it very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's annoying. Oh, Disney.
Oh, Disney. Back to not Disney at all.
Back to quite the opposite of Disney.
John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch.
The kids that they got for this show were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them had that that childish, fun after school special like personality, but then they would do like the interviews about fears, and like they would get like deep existential things going on, and like some of them talked about home invasions, and like it really threw my perspective of these kids through a loop, which made me really not uncertain, but just like there was never a point in this special, this movie, this whatever it was, where you could tell the trajectory.
Sure.
And I think it's one because of the masterful comedic writing of John Mulaney and his team. But the kids did such a good job of playing that role of just essentially the child actor of they look young, they act young, but in reality they're aged, jaded actors, and it was funny. It was very funny.
Yeah. And there were so many people, so many guest stars.
Yeah. Before we go into the Jake Gyllenhaal appearance, I absolutely loved the Richard Kind girl talk.
Yeah.
I love Richard Kind.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. But the whole thing, that whole segment was just absolutely bizarre, because they would, every time they were like, okay, just girl talk, and then they would go into like I can't even remember like all the things they talked about, but none of it was girl talk. Like, it was essentially acting techniques and stuff like that, and it was just really funny.
Yeah.
So good. And they got freaking what was his name? David Byrne in there from the Talking Heads. What? Yep. That kind of blew me away that they got David Byrne. The music number he did with the girl doing the talent show with the family. Yeah. I loved that. In halfway through it, she has her mother's blazers on with the huge shoulders, which is a Talking Heads thing, because he would always all his concerts and if you find the few music videos that the Talking Heads did, his iconic look was the massive shoulder with the shoulder pads, and it was great. I love that they had that in there.
Yep. And they had Andre DeShields, the math tutor. Andre DeShields is like, well, he was, before COVID, he was starring in the Tony Award Best Musical Hadestown as Hermes. Sort of the narrator god character. Mm-hmm. He's great. Love him. Was very excited to see him in this. Such a bizarre number. Loved it.
I like that one too, because it had like the weird like shadow puppet actions about him being with a woman cheating on her husband. It was like the
kids doing their little backup chorus line numbers.
This whole special is just so bizarre. And every single one of his like points as the tutor were how like algebra is important, it will help you save your eye, and like none of it talked about how it saved his eye.
Correct. Yes.
It was so good. The part where the wife is like, oh, he's not a lover, he's a math tutor, and he's like, and so I'm sitting there butt naked trying to figure out a math equation.
And then his interviews outside of his sketch.
Yeah.
Well, also very.
His final one was actually really inspiring. Like
Yeah.
the there's no one like you, so be you kind of thing.
Yep.
Like that one actually felt like a real after school, like a borderline Mr. Rogers
Right.
kind of thing.
Yes.
Which that in itself felt so left turn because everything else has been so tongue in cheek and insane that I had to laugh at it because it was so earnest and sweet that it was funny. It was great.
Ugh. If there's one person that I wish I could be more like in life, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. Because he is willing to throw himself 3,000% into anything.
Yeah.
Like, the level of commitment and earnestness that he brings to the dumbest roles make them the best.
Yeah. Well,
Like, if somebody had done that role, the Mr. Music part, without being, like, 1,000,000% invested, that would not have come across.
no. It was so manic.
Yeah.
It was so absolutely manic. Oh.
Yeah. That character definitely fits into my favorite character trope. Hot mess in a cool coat.
The xylophone coat.
Yep.
I kind of want to go off on a tangent with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
I knew of him
Sure.
for a while, but like I never really, if I heard he was in it, I was, whatever. Ooh, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. He's, kissing Heath Ledger, whatever.
Right.
In Brokeback Mountain. It didn't, it's like, oh, I want to see that because Jake Gyllenhaal's in it.
Right.
I always remembered him as the Donnie Darko kid. And it was like, well,
Yeah.
I didn't like Donnie Darko. I know. People are going to hate me for that, but I didn't like Donnie Darko.
Sure.
And so my distaste for Donnie Darko bled into Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right.
And then I watched Nightcrawler, which is his drama, kind of intense. Well, it's about paparazzi essentially, but like it really gave me respect for his acting because he goes from 0 to 90 in that movie. And then I started seeing him in other things. And then when he came into the MCU as Quentin Beck, Mysterio, I absolutely fell in love with him.
Did you see him in Oakjaw?
In what?
Oakjaw?
I don't
It's a
think I've
Netflix
seen
movie.
I don't think
It's
I've
a
seen
little-
Hookjaw.
It's a little hard to watch as a movie, but he just makes choices in it. And I will let you discover what those choices are. But I think that's what I was like, oh, this guy is in it to win it. Whatever he chooses, he's going to make it the best choice.
Well,
It's a good movie, worth watching. It's on Netflix.
I'll take a look at it. But like with Nightcrawler, he's such a insane character that you see that dive into madness with that character. And I was like,
He
okay,
does
so
madness well.
yes, he does madness very well. And so I was really curious what he was, and so that was kind of my perspective of him. Okay, he's an emo kid in Donnie Darko, and he can play a crazy guy really well in Nightcrawler. And then I hear he's Mysterio in the MCU, and I was like, interesting. And so I go into it, and he plays the hero so well. And then there's that bar scene where it completely flips from heroic to megalomaniac. And that switch is so fluid and beautiful. And by the end, you just see the intensity of the vengeance and the craving for celebrity. And it's just like, that is a complete 180 to what he was playing in the first half. And it was like, wow. that is impressive. I don't know. And then just seeing the manic of Mr. Music.
Yeah.
And
he's also, like, a song and dance man.
Yeah.
Like he's done Sondheim on Broadway. Like, big stuff.
Well, and
that takes chops.
What people don't get is it takes a lot of talent to dance and sing badly correctly.
Yeah.
And he does that so well in this. Like,
Yes.
It's so bad, yet so perfect.
Yeah.
And I just love the scene where he breaks the beer bottle, and then he comes back and he has that Christian Bale, like, outrage, like, anger breakout. I was like, left, broken glass, right here! Like, it was just... And the interaction with the kitten was... Like, I'm sure that was done in either one take or a million takes, because his line to the kitten meowing at him, and then the flabbergasted removal of him from the scene, that was comedic gold. It was so funny. I literally was crying by the end of the Mr. Music scene. I was laughing so hard. Though I will go out and say that the humor for this is not for everyone.
No. I'd say if you like John Mulaney, you're on a good start.
Yes.
Like, it's John Mulaney plus.
It really is, though. Like,
okay, I guess if you like John Mulaney and you like the sketches he writes when he hosts SNL, then you're gonna like this.
Very
and
fair
that
point.
takes a little bit of research to know about. So you probably will. If you know what sketches he wrote on SNL, you're gonna like this.
Like, the whole segment about what was it, Goopy? Where they had the in memoriam for him, and then the missing memoriam for the other guy, and then it turns out they actually have pre-baked in memoriam for each one of the actors in it, including John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Which he's really proud of his. I feel like my mother would not find that funny at all, and my dad would be rolling. You know, like, this is not for everyone's sensibilities. Nope. But gosh, if your sense of humor hits right with it, it's
for mine.
Yeah, it's a grand slam. It is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's a good one. I like the Grandma's Boyfriend Paul musical number.
Yeah. Nobody likes Paul at all. So sad. Like, that poor old man.
Performing. Did such a good job.
They really did. Like, the singing numbers. Like, the one that comes to mind is the crying lady in the rain.
Yeah.
Like, that kid just sang his heart out on that, and it was... I mean, it's such a ridiculous song, but it was so good.
Clearly professional children, but they hit that sweet spot that the late 80s professional children hit, where they're not just acting like adults. You see an interview with the Stranger Things kids, and they're just talking like adults.
Yeah.
Which is great. They seem like great kids. But these kids are still interviewing like children.
Uh-huh.
But are very clearly professional actors, too. Which is a less common thing. They clearly, like, whoever directed this clearly communicates very well with children to have got that vibe so consistent.
No, seriously, though. a scene that, or a skit. I guess there's skits in this, huh?
I guess, yeah.
The skit that just, I think, had me laughing the hardest, though, was the movie preview panel.
Yeah.
Where they just were brutally honest. Like, okay, who recognized this voice actor? Who recognized this voice actor? And who knew this voice actor? And, like, the kid in the back with the glasses, like, that was Manny Patinkin.
That's our Mandy.
Yeah, I heard him breathe. And I was like, that's our Mandy. It's like, that kid, like, he cradled that line of, you just want to pick him up and hug him, but you would never want to listen to him explain something.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, man. So cute. So funny.
Yes.
No, but, like, literally every single one of the kids in this is probably 10 times more talented than you and I combined. Like,
Probably.
so impressive. Or at least me. At least you have some theater talent.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome. They're only 5 times as talented as you. 10 times as much as me.
I'll take that as a compliment.
But yeah, I mean, I can't recommend this enough. But you have to know your sense of humor for it.
Yes. If you watch through the Boyfriend Paul song and you're not digging it, you don't have to keep going. You're not going to find anything you dig.
For us, it's only uphill from there. For everyone else, it's downhill from our grandma's boyfriend, Paul.
You know what? I'm going to put the link to Mr. Music on our Patreon. I know that YouTube has it. Netflix has put it up on YouTube. I have posted it on my personal Facebook so many times. No one ever likes it. I'll put it up on Patreon so you guys can check it out if you aren't willing to commit to an hour-long special to find out if you like it.
Yeah, if you like Mr. Music, you'll like the entire special. It's the gateway. If you can make it through this, you can make it. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. So good, though. So good. Man. So, is this the point where we talk about the next movie we're going to watch?
I guess.
I don't want to say what we're going to watch, because that means we have to watch it.
Well, then I will say it. So, our business casual Patreon supporters will know that last month, or the month before, what is time? Sometime post-COVID, we talked about a trailer for a movie called Animal Crackers that is on Netflix.
Yep.
And we're gonna do that movie.
Yeah.
That's our next movie.
Spoilers for our non-Patreon supporters. The trailer made us feel gross. We couldn't put our finger on it, but there's something about the trailer that just felt uneasy, unsettling, and gross.
So go watch the trailer, and then come listen to our episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So fun.
Do you have any final thoughts about John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch?
I know that they are open to doing more Sack Lunch Bunch content, so I really hope they do.
I really hope they do as well, because that was thoroughly enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My final thought is this just solidifies John Mulaney as one of my all-time favorite comedians.
Definitely.
He just is so funny. His take on the world is just so unique. I love it. So funny. All right, I believe this is the time where we thank our Patreons, huh?
Jenny, Jake, Pam, and Graham.
You guys rock. You keep this podcast rolling, and it's been very helpful during this crazy time of COVID quarantine. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And on that note, this has been another episode of Casual Cinephilia. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.